There's a lot of confusing information out there about Medicaid, what we call the Medicaid myths. Hi, I'm attorney Michael Potter, and in this segment we're going to look at some of the most commonly misunderstood myths about Medicaid and the truth behind it, so that seniors in your family can qualify for coverage. There is so much confusing information out there. I can understand how people would get confused and not understand exactly for their particular situation how they can qualify. Many times these myths are promulgated by people who really aren't qualified to give you legal advice. So let's see if we can't clear up some of these myths today. Okay, first, let's start by looking at the difference between Medicare and Medicaid. All right, Medicare is a health insurance program aimed at seniors over the age of 65, dealing with issues like doctor's visits, eyeglasses, dental visits, prescriptions, that sort of thing. Whereas Medicaid is looking at more long-term care for seniors in a nursing home and for people who are on Social Security disability. Now, as we begin our discussion about Medicaid myths, let's first look at some of the options that you have for senior care. Now, most seniors really do prefer to live independently for as long as their health allows them to do that. Remaining in their home and enjoying their life, enjoying their surroundings in the home is the preferred way to go. Now, option 2 is another thing to consider, and that is the use of a part-time or even full-time caregiver who comes into the home maybe a couple of days a week to help out with light housekeeping, laundry, meal preparation, personal hygiene, any kind of thing that the senior might need. And that caregiver might be paid for either out of private funds, or if the a senior is a veteran or the widow of a veteran, definitely there may be another option with respect to paying for that caregiver through a special pension benefit given only to veterans or widows of veterans. Contact me if you'd like more information about that. Now, option 3 is a pretty good thing to consider, and that is the use of an assisted living facility, where the senior still maintains their independence, but they have access to transportation, medical support, and community involvement, all in a single facility that allows them to live independently while still being close to the care and help and caregiving that they might need. Now, to me, the assisted living facility really offers sort of the best of both worlds, because you do have the independent living component mixed with the ability to have transportation, companionship, caregiving, medical support, menu preparation, recreational facilities, all in the same community. And that's a very nice way to go. Now, there are those situations where the senior requires round-the-clock skilled nursing care. And if that's the situation, then a nursing home probably is an option. However, you want to be considerate of what the cost is. The cost can be high, and that's where the Medicaid program comes into it. However, many people are frightened that they'll have to give up everything that they've worked for all their life in order to qualify for Medicaid. As we look at this program in the next segment, we're going to look at some of the Medicaid myths that still are out there, and we'll show you the truth behind it. And then in a future segment right after that, we will show you the solutions to that problem. Now, when it comes to Medicaid, there are a few terms that you need to be familiar with. For example, let's say you have a married couple and one of the spouses is living in the family residence and the other spouse is in a nursing home. For purposes of Medicaid, the spouse who is still living in the personal residence is referred to as the community spouse. Okay, so let's talk about this issue because it often comes up and sometimes it's very confusing. When you've got a married couple, both of whom are earning some type of income, perhaps from an IRA or a pension, or one of them is working, the income of both spouses is counted in determining Medicaid eligibility, but primarily it's used in order to determine the community spouse resource allowance. Now that's the amount that the spouse still residing in the home can keep in the way of income while the other spouse is in the nursing home. Now here's one that comes up quite a bit, and that is regards the home. Many times people are afraid they're going to lose their home if they apply for Medicaid. And the truth is that for a single person, the home remains exempt for a certain period of time, and for a married couple, it remains exempt for as long as the community spouse still resides in the home while the other spouse is in the nursing home. Now let's deal with this myth that if you are a nursing home patient on Medicaid, that somehow you're going to receive substandard care. Please remove that from your mind. It's not true. In fact, the care that you get in any particular facility is a function of that facility and the kind of care, the level of care that it offers. Many times people who go into a nursing home are paying out of their pocket, private pay that's called, and others are Medicaid patients. And many times the facility has a blend of both Medicaid and private pay patients. There is no standard that's different just because you're on Medicaid. In fact, it's illegal to give substandard care to someone just because they're on Medicaid. Well, in this segment, we've looked at some options for senior care, and we've begun to unravel some of the myths about Medicaid coverage and how to be qualified for it. In our next segment, we'll look more in depth at more of the Medicaid myths and the truth behind them so that seniors in your family can qualify for coverage. I'm attorney Michael Potter, and I look forward to seeing you in our next segment.